Namo Tassam Bhagavato Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassam Bhagavato Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassam Bhagavato Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa.
Before we start our lesson today, just want to ask you, have any question with the practice meditation at home? No question? Okay. Whenever you practice at home and if you come to some difficulty, you can always ask before we start our lesson. So I encourage to do that. So basically when you meditate at home, there will be time that you don't know how to deal with the pain, the running thought, the sleepiness, thing like that. It could be hindrance to your practice. So you need to find out how to overcome it. So if you keep facing the same problem over and over again, you won't make any progress. And if you don't make any progress, you don't see the benefit of practicing meditation, and eventually you will quit altogether, which is a lot of people, doing that. That's why we always encourage. But we don't know how to help you if you don't tell us what's the difficulty that you are facing. Okay, so you encourage to do that. Okay. Yeah.
So last week lesson we studied the topic self yourself, self order, based on the simile the Buddha gave that the two acrobats they perform the show, so they should not take care of the other one, but they should take care of their own part. In the same way, when we protect ourselves, we protect the other people around us by practice the mindfulness, the four foundation of mindfulness, and practice patience, compassion, loving kindness, and rejoice of the happiness of other people. So in that way, when we practice those things, we protect ourselves, we save ourselves, and we save other people around us. So that's how we practice the teaching of the Buddha. That's how we not to do any evil, perform good, and purify our mind. So last week's lesson, based on one's question of the one devotee, that when she listened to the Dhamma talk, sometimes the story, she heard the story, and the story is difficult to accept, and it's outside of her reasoning. So that's why last week's lesson I also brought a story written, have three sources in the text. And for sure that story is true, about a monk that he and his mother have suffered for 7 years when she was pregnant with him. So and after 7 years she can deliver him successfully, peacefully. But for 7 years suffering, and somehow that story is difficult for us, for normal people to understand, to accept. But as we talk about the karma and the consequence, so the karma has its way to yield the consequence, and sometimes it's really, really difficult to understand what really happened, the cause and the effect. So that is the last week lesson, but also based on her question about the Dhamma talk, because she listened to various kind of Dhamma talk, and then she just listened, and then she cannot memorize, nothing left in her, on her. So she wonder how she should do, what she should do when she listens to the Dhamma talk. That's why I have today's topic, comprehend then practice. So in the Anguttara Nikaya, the collection of numerical discourses, the Buddha talked. There are three kinds of person exist in the world, found in the world. So the first kind of person is called inverted wisdom, upside down wisdom. The person with lap-like wisdom, lap on your laptop. And the last one is the person with widespread with wisdom. So what is the person with inverted wisdom? So some person often goes to the temple, to go to the monastery, to listen to the Dhamma talk from the bhikkhu. So here, focus on the person who often go to the temple to listen to the Dhamma talk from bhikkhu, but not go to the temple for something else. Okay, something else is left behind. So the person who he or she often go to the temple to listen to the Dhamma talk, and the bhikkhu, the monk, teach him the Dhamma, good in the beginning, good in the middle, and good in the end. So what is the good in the beginning? So at the very first of the Dhamma talk, he laying down everything for understanding. Then in the middle of the talk, he explained everything, and good in the end mean good in the conclusion. So he tried to make the teaching he delivered have been made perfectly and good quality, without any fault, without any incorrection in the talk. So and then he put, and the talk should be in the right meaning. It means that he should make his Dhamma talk meaningful. A lot of things benefit for the listener. And while he explained it, he used the phrasing, easy to understand for many people. He tried to explain the spiritual life. Completely, he covered all the aspects necessary for the listener to understand the spiritual life, and he should make his Dhamma talk neatly. It means that there's no stuck, there's no tangle, there's no knot in his explanation. So, and the spiritual life he should explain is the explanation about the highest way of living, including in the threefold training, morality, concentration, and wisdom, and the eightfold noble path. So that is how the monk should deliver the Dhamma talk. So I try to describe how the Dhamma talk is, so that you know that the monk do good in his job already. So now it's the job of the listener. So for the listener, the first kind of listener, he or she, while sitting on the seat, does not attend to the talk in the beginning, not pay attention to the beginning, in the middle, or in the end. And after he arrives from his seat, go back, he does not have attention to the talk at all at the beginning or the middle or the end of the talk. So just like the pot, the clay water pot, turned upside down. That's why we call the wisdom as upside down wisdom. So when it's placed upside down, the water pour into the pot, run off, and cannot remain. So in the same way, the person, while the water pour inside the pot is the time that the person who listened to the Dhamma talk, but he cannot keep anything, he pour out everything out. So that kind of person, the wisdom is like the upside down pot. So that's the first one. So the second one, the lap-like wisdom. So there are some person often go to the temple, listen to the Dhamma talk from the bhikkhu, the monk. The monk teach him the Dhamma, good the beginning, good in the middle, good the end, with right meaning and phrasing, explain completely and neatly the spiritual life. But while he sitting in his seat, he give attention to the talk at the beginning, at the middle, and at the end. But after he arrives from his seat, go back, he does not have attention to the beginning, the middle, and the end of the talk. Completely forget. Just like the person who has various kind of food on his lap, like the seed, the rains, the cake, the candy, something like that. And then because of he doesn't have mindfulness, awareness, So that's why when he rise up from his seat, everything scatter over. In the same way, the person who that kind of person go to the temple, listen to the Dhamma talk. While he's sitting, he try to understand, while try to pay attention, the beginning, the middle, the end of the talk. But after he rise up and go home, he forget everything. He just get it. So that is the second kind of person. The third kind of person is like it's called the person with wide wisdom, widespread with wisdom. So that person also often go to the temple to listen to the Dhamma talk from the monks. The monk teach him the Dhamma good in the beginning, good in the middle, and the end, with right meaning and phrasings, completely and neatly about the spiritual life. So while he's sitting, he tried to give it attention to the talk, the beginning and the middle and the end. And after rise from the seat, he tried to try to pay attention to all the talk from the beginning, the middle, and the end. Just like a water clay pot keep upright. So when it keep upright like that, whatever water pour into it, it will stay and remain there. It will not run out. So in the same way, the person try to often go to the temple, listen to the Dhamma talk, will establish himself, will develop himself by listening, by collecting from the talk. While he's sitting there, he try to remember and try to understand the talk. And while he go home, he try to remember and still keep the talk in his mind. That's why it's called he established himself. It's better than the other two kind of person. That's why in the Anguttara Nikaya, the Buddha said that the person with undistracted mind and best intention retain, one who practice in accordance with the Dhamma should be the one who make an end of suffering. So the person with undistracted mind is referred to this Trikha person. The person with undistracted mind, with mindfulness, with awareness. So he or she try to understand about the talk, and because he or she have best intention, so try to remember, retain the talk, the teaching of the Buddha in himself. Best intention here is referred to the goal. What is the purpose you listen to the Dhamma talk? Some people, they have many kind of purpose right there, but the best intention here is referred to the goal that you try to be free from suffering. You try to attain Nibbana, to eradicate all defilement. That is the best intention, but not many people have that best intention. That's why they cannot remember the teaching of the Buddha. So the person with undistracted mind and best intention retain whatever he or she heard. But that alone is not enough. Listening alone not enough. It cannot help you to overcome the suffering. Right? So one who practice in accordance with the Dhamma should be the one who make an end of suffering. Listening alone not enough. The one who practice in accordance with the Dhamma should be the one who make an end of suffering. So practice in accordance with the Dhamma should understand that you should practice the step by step. So the very first part is morality. Morality is the base for all other. Like in the threefold training, I just tell you that morality is the first one, then concentration, then wisdom. So wisdom cannot be the first one. Morality is the very first one. And in accordance with the Dhamma, so by practicing in that way, step by step, you can attain the 9 supramundane attainment. That is the 4 paths for fruition, the 4 kind of noble person, and Nibbana. So that step by step in accordance to with the Dhamma, and make the end of suffering here mean break the cycle of existence, cycle of rebirth out of the samsara. So as you see that so many people nowadays they come to the temple. They come to the temple a lot. But why they still suffer? Once you ask that question, they often go to the temple, but they're still suffering. Why? Because they cannot remember the teaching of the Buddha. They cannot remember. They have their mind distracted, and they have not good purpose to go to the temple. They cannot remember. And why they cannot remember when they cannot remember the teaching of the Buddha, so they cannot apply to themselves. Because even we listen, we understand, but we don't apply to our life, so it's useless. It's just like we have a bag and we carry a lot of books. We have a library, we have a collection of all the book written down the teaching of the Buddha, but we never read it. We never put it into our life, apply to our life. So it's useless, and it cannot make our life end up suffering. It is this way. So how we can apply it into our life? So in the Tịnh Nikaya, the collection of long discourses, the Buddha talked about there are three kinds of knowledge, three kinds of wisdom. So the first one is it comes from listening. The second one developed by reasoning, and the third one developed from establishing, cultivating. So how we understand these three kinds of wisdom? So the first one is established from listening to other voice, other word. So some people would say that I don't listen to the Dhamma talk, but I like to read the book, the Buddhist book. So in the same way, because what the Buddha taught, they written down the book. So in the same way, just the word from the Buddha. So that is the first one. The second one is from reasoning. It depending on each other, each individual, they have a different way of reasoning, but it should be in the correct way, not in the not correct way, wrong way. Okay, and the last one, the wisdom is developed, established by cultivating. It is we call ditti, samadhi, the right view, right intention. So how we understand these three things? I give you another definition written down in the Vipanga of Abhidhamma. So after hearing from other person, the first kind of wisdom. So after hearing from other and obtain and finding pleasure, accept the teaching and finding pleasure in the teaching, that, for example, that we know that karma is our own possession. So after listening from other that, oh, karma is our own possession, we accept it, we love it, we observe it, we find pleasure in that teaching, and we apply into our life, whether in work or in studying or in anything, in any way, we apply into our life like that. Or we love the teaching in conformity with the truth, like the matter is impermanent, feeling is impermanent, consciousness is impermanent, something similar to that. So, and it is called the wisdom by means of hearing. So you, after hearing from that, you accept the teaching and you love that kind of teaching. And the second one is from by reasoning, by thinking. So not hearing from other person, but you know yourself. You know yourself that, oh, karma is our possession, and you apply into your life. Or you know that the whatever is the matter is impermanent, the feelings is impermanent, the consciousness is impermanent, and you apply it to your life. That is, but not by listening to other person, by your own reasoning, by your own thinking. And the last one is the wisdom by attaining. So after you reasoning, and one day when you meditate and you attend kind the level of meditation, so your wisdom insight arise and you see the true things by your right view. So the wisdom by means of cultivation or development. What I need to talk about these three kind of wisdom here is that you not only listen to other or you reasoning by yourself, but you know the teaching, you know the Dharma, like for example, like karma is our own possession. You know that already. But you need to apply into your life, in your work, in your study. How? How should it be? The person who doesn't care about karma and consequence, he or she would do whatever to get the benefit. Even lying, stealing, or killing other person or other being to get the benefit. But if we know that karma is our own possession, what we do, we will pay later. So we never try to do such thing to get benefit for ourselves, right? So that's how we improve our wisdom, even by listening or by reasoning. Or we maybe you learn from the teaching that life is impermanence, the matter is impermanence, feeling is impermanence, or consciousness is impermanence. But you should apply to your life too, not just like everything impermanent. You just talk, and it doesn't apply to your life. So when things happen, you suffer. Like one of our dog die, you learn already that everything is impermanent, come and go, right? But you don't apply into your life and you suffer. Why my dog died? Something like that. You suffer. So it's you just listen, but not apply into your life. So cannot improve your wisdom. So just some example for you to do it in your life. Some people, they just collect the teaching, collect the Dhamma talk, collect knowledge, then because they don't have good purpose to listen to the Dhamma talk, good best intention, so they come with the knowledge and they argue each other. I will right about this one. I'm not right. You're not right about this one. Or some people think that when you listen a lot of Dhamma talk, it protects you. Be free from the woeful realm, for example. This is not true. The knowledge from the Buddha teaching cannot protect you. You are the person who protect yourself by your own action. Even the robe cannot protect the monk and the nun too. This morning he gave me one picture that one of my friends posted in social media about a man or a monk. He have his bad behavior against the robe he wear. So the bad action, the unwholesome action, whether you are a lay person or you are clergy, also the same with the action and result and the consequence. The difference is that you understand the teaching and how you apply into your life, how you make yourself, you have your own behavior different from each other. That's the difference. Somebody, especially the Vietnamese, they think that they one day when they get older, they will stay at the temple, be a monk or nun, and finish their life. That sounds really good, right? But if you don't practice, the same. Whether you have hair or without hair, the same. It cannot protect you. Even the Buddha stay right there. He cannot protect you to be born in a woeful realm. How can even just the robe can protect you? I would like to share with you one story written in the Petawatu, the story of hungry ghost. You see this picture, the angry monk, right? So whoever get angry, it's not beautiful at all. Even a monk or no lady, even a beautiful lady wear beautiful dress, but when she get angry, she's not beautiful at all, right? So one times, Venerable Narada, when he goes down from the Gichakuta mountain, and he saw a hungry ghost, and the hungry ghost, the body of the hungry ghost have the golden skin and shine in all direction, beautiful skin, beautiful appearance, but his mouth is like pigs. His mouth is like pigs. And the Venerable asked, what did you done in your previous life that you look like that right now? So he replied that I was practice self-restraint in my body, but I did not practice with my word. That's why I have that bad consequence. So in the time of the Kassapa Buddha, previous Buddha, before our Buddha, so there's a bhikkhu, there's a monk who he tried to practice self-restraint. So he tried to control his body action, like, for example, not killing, not stealing, like that. But he's not controlling his mouth. So he often often insult or verbally abuse other monk or badmouth about other monk. So because of that bad karma, that's why after he passed away, he died and reborn in hell and be burned there in the time between two Buddha, from until our Buddha arrives. So you can imagine that our Buddha just passed away like 2,500 something years ago. So not finished his term yet. So you should imagine how long he had to be burned to pay for his bad karma. And the remain karma result gave him the life of the Beta, the one who suffer by hunger, thirsty. And but with the beautiful golden skin, shiny, beautiful skin, but face is like similar to a pig. So that's why the Venerable Narada he brought that story back to the Buddha, and the Buddha, based on that, they have Dhamma talk. That's why we have the story nowadays. So I bring the story here to remind you and remind me that whatever we learn from the teaching of the Buddha, we try to listen carefully, understand carefully, comprehend the teaching of the Buddha, and that's alone not enough. That alone not enough. And while we listen to the teaching of the Buddha, we listen carefully from the beginning, the middle, and the end, or we just stand up and drop everything at the temple, go back, nothing left, or we try to establish ourselves with the knowledge about teaching of the Buddha. But that's alone not enough. We should apply into our life and change our behavior, change our action, and make our life different from other person, the one who not listen to the teaching of the Buddha, or else we're the same with them. And when we apply to our life like that, we should change our behavior, and our life will be better, because no one can protect us. Even the rope cannot protect him from being burned in hell. So no one can protect us. Even the Buddha's right there, he cannot protect us. So our own action will protect ourselves and make our life better. That is the purpose, the best intention to listen to the Dhamma talk. We have the Dhamma talk every Sunday. It's not just like ceremony, because each Dhamma talk we prepare is remind me and remind you to try hard, practice more, to comprehend and practice the teaching of the Buddha. So we should know our purpose. Thank you for your listening.
Okay, we have discussing time. By listening to this story about the monk in the past who has bad verbal, like wrong speech, then he faced the consequence in hell, and whatever left, reborn back into a hungry goat with a hideous, face. Although he has a very radiant looking body, but his face is like a pig. And you would think that it looked like a story, it would never happen, right? But actually it happened currently. I have seen in this very life, I have seen that monk who's very clever, very skillful in giving Dhamma talk and explaining and all that. But he's very arrogant. He's very arrogant and very hot temper, that if he give a Dhamma talk and if you don't understand it, he would get angry. And he would abuse you, verbally abuse you, and to the point that he might throw things at you. And a lot of devotees came back and complained it to us, monk, and they feel bad about it. They feel like, oh, Venerable Sir, I think my wisdom is so, I don't have enough wisdom to comprehend what that monk explained, and he verbally abused me. I feel bad. I say, no. That's not what the Buddha taught. As a monk, as a lay people, you should have loving compassion and patience and all the good things to others, not just, just alone being a layman. Imagine a monk should lead an example, should be a role model. He should be better than that. So if he cannot, if the listener cannot understand or comprehend what he said, then he needs to lower his standard. Keep lower it to the point that he run out of technique, then he should comfort the listener that it's okay, you might not understand now, but time or when your understanding mature, you might comprehend the idea. Be patient with them. Because not everyone understand what other people say. Depend on your knowledge and depend on the skill of the person who convey the teaching. Even though he can be a good talker, but he might lack of technique to deliver the message. So you cannot blame on anyone. So that's why in this temple here, we encourage our devotee that please ask as much as you can, relevant to the teaching of the Buddha. If you ask outside the scope, then we can deny, answer the question. But as long as you ask within the scope of the teaching of the Buddha, we monk here will do our best and try to answer, whatever that you not understand. And to the point that you cannot comprehend, then we'll wait for another time, or you might go home and contemplate on that, or however it is. We give you a lot of time, and we can't not verbally abuse you in any way. So that's why in this temple we encourage everyone to ask questions so that we know where you have difficulty or where it's unclear or where you disagree on, so we can talk it out. And then if you don't understand, then give us more time. Give yourself more time, give us more time. We might find another way to explain, and you might have, you might digest and understand it later. So there you go. In Buddhism, there's Eightfold Noble Path. There's one factor called right speech. That is when you should, maintain right speech, talk, sense, not divisive, have to talk within the scope of non-greed, non-anger, and non-delusion. That's the right speech. And this monk, he might practice well, restrained physically, like in terms of like not killing, stealing, and things like that. But he did not restrain on his speech, and the consequence that he faced back because he physically restrained himself. That's why he has a very radiant, beautiful figure, body. But then again, his mouth and all that doesn't look so good. And because of the bad acts that he committed, he suffered in hell in a long time. And between two Buddhas, the previous Buddha is a long time, and then there was time that no Buddha. I mean, during the time that no teaching of the Buddha, and then later at the end of that time, and then a new Buddha rise. That's a very, very, very long time that he has to suffer. So that's why we have to be careful. We have to be careful to contemplate and control our emotion in what we do, what we say. Talking about the wisdom, the 3 types of wisdom we learn. The first one is from listening or reading, and then the second one is from reasoning, and the third one is from practicing or cultivating. Last week we have a small retreat with 4 men, for male practitioner. We couldn't accept female because we don't have space, we don't have room for the lady to come and practice with us. So for that short time, we have the chance to sit and meditate and to train our mind. And a lot of when we do in sitting, there's a lot of tension, build up in the sitting, and you might get aching, you might get boredom, you might get homesick, missing their wife, and a lot of defilement rises. So that is the opportunity for us to look at it and to train our mind to not let this kind of environment rises and then we face suffering. So that's a lot of practice involved. So we learn, you come here Sunday, you listen to the Dhamma talk, listen to the slide, read the slide, and then you might go home and reason. But that reason may not be stable. Because what you read, and then you agree to it, and then next time you apply it into daily practice, but it's still very immature, very not concrete. But then you continue to put into practice to train your mind until you finally see it through experiment. Then that will be concrete. I'll give you an example. Every one of us know that anger is leading to suffering. And every one of us here, sitting in here, and everywhere in the world, everybody know that, right? So why are you keep getting angry? See, that's only through reasoning only. So you need to put into practice. So how do you do that? When you meditate, the best way to train your mind in the controlled environment is to actually facing the anger and deal with it with a calm and calm and bright attitude. Right there, when you sit, bad memory rises. Bad memory rises make you upset. So how do you deal with it? How do you do it so that way you still remain calm and not return the anger to other people? So this is how we do it. Battery. Okay. So that's why we learn to put into practice that way. Or you can go home, and there's technique in every in the practice that you need to apply when you have an upsetting mind. How you deal with it? How do you deal with it with a calm and understanding, so that you don't act again negatively and then face another consequence again. That's why you do the practice. So the knowledge through reading, listening, and then reasoning, these knowledge are not concrete, and it's not your knowledge. It's not your wisdom. You are borrowing it someone else, and then you use it to cultivate, and then when you gain it, you gain insight that is yours because it's through experiment, and that's going to be concrete, unstable. It's going to be stable, unshakable. Okay. Just remember that. That's why he mentioned that understand thoroughly and then apply into the practice. If not, you just just the recorder, the the walking library. People talk just like the elder monk. He gave good talk. He gave good Dhamma talk, but he couldn't put into practice. He get angry when people don't get his point. So where's the practice there? Where's his loving kindness and compassion there? There you go. So if you learn so much and you don't put in practice, you'll be more like him. So that's a thing. So the first slide that he mentioned about the inverted wisdom with the pot upside down with all the water pour out. If you are actually come to the temple with good intention, good purpose, but if you don't still get the point or the teaching, then you should go back and ask again and again and again. We monk here promise that we won't get bored or get frustrated with your repetitive, questions. We'll try our best for you to understand, and if within the capability that we can convey, we try our best to deliver the message. If not, we go back and learn more, and then try to figure it out, dig up the information, however that conveyed it to you for you to truly understand. That's the only way you can apply into the practice. We don't want you to have a very obscure or unclear or whatever the knowledge, because that will lead to the wrong practice, wrong result. So I'll promise to explain as much as you can. Some of our devotees feel a little bit hesitate or embarrassed to ask the same question again and again. And then they say, oh, I would like to ask more, but I feel a little bit shy or hesitate because I don't want to ask the same question again and again. I say, the reason you want to ask again is because it's not clear. And if it's not clear, you need to clear it. So ask again and again. You won't ever get us bored or frustrated with your same question. So that's why we want you to be, the pot with the upright pot. Whatever you learn, retain it in there, and eventually you fill up. And when it's overflow, that's when your insights start to flourish. Okay. Don't be like the first and the second one, the lap knowledge. Whatever you put in the lap, when you stand up, it's gonna fall down, right? And the inverted, you just listen, and then when you stand up, everything fall off, and then nothing retain. And sometimes people come to the temple because they want to show to others they practice Buddhism. They resort to Buddhism as OA. They stay suffering too much already, but then they come, not really fully pay attention. They want to show to other people, oh, I'm practicing right now. In Asia, we have that a lot. We want to show people that, oh, now you are so devoted. You practice and get praise from other people. So they just go and sit, but their mind was somewhere else. They play with the phone, or they will look here and there. They don't really pay attention. So that's why it's useless, wasting time. Or sometimes people fall asleep when they listen to the Dhamma talk. I don't know whatever your habit or how restful you get, whatever. But if you're tired, then you should take a nap and then go and listen. You come here, you make an effort already, make it worth it, right? Don't just go and just show like that, because it's pointless. You'd rather take that time and go and rest. It would be more beneficial rather than to show to people and then you fall asleep. It doesn't look respectful when you listen to the Dhamma talk, when you are nodding like this a lot, or you are not paying attention. So no benefit at all. I think it's best that you go out there and talk on the phone, playing, on your phone, rather than, sit here and, in front of everyone. So you give the utmost attention, the utmost benefit you will receive. Not from anyone or by, for anyone or by anyone. You are the one who get it, not anyone else. So that's one is encouraged. Okay. So, and the whole purpose, we want to listen to Dhamma talk because we already experience suffering, right? We have too much negative thing happening in our life because of the wrong view, wrong act. We want to change it. We want to be better. That's why we want to come and learn what the Buddha teaching, so that we can apply. We have true happiness. And when you do that, make sure you give it all Don't just do it for show. Yeah. So with today's lesson, do you have any questions or anything to add? Jordan, do you wanna share your experience when you practice like the intensive sitting meditation, walking meditation for the whole day?
It was good, and the walking was good, but the week before I was working really hard, and I got up early, so I was very tired. So the sitting part, I kept kind of falling asleep, so I didn't get much benefit there. But the walking was really good. I've been doing it for like a whole day, and kind of focusing on that was really helpful. Yes. Because you go throughout your day and things happen, people talk to you, don't know why, so like have a concentrated mind, and it's nice to just take for like a long period of time, and then actually doing that the following week, it was easier for me to meditate after that. It's like the practice, like the more you do it, the easier it is to do it, and then something happened where I was kind of upset, and I just immediately focus, better. So, I really do think it's important to continue to practice as much as you can.
Yes. It's just like a workout.
For those who work out in the gym, if you put out for a while, it makes it difficult for you to come back. Your muscle aching, you're not eager to go to the gym. You feel lazy. But if you continue to go, it become a routine and become a habit, and then your muscle doesn't feel as aching as much. So the same way, that's called the persistent that you do, consistent and persistent. The result that I want to ask you that for the whole day, walking, sitting, very intensive, but as a result, did you get anything out of it? How do you feel like before you do the long sitting, walking like that, and then?
It was definitely more focused, concentrated mind. It was easier to get there, right? So, and for the time seemed to pass pretty quickly for me because I was just kind of focused on the steps and the meditating. So, I wasn't thinking like, oh, how long is it going? You know what I mean? So I was able to kind of get there. Just got it covered for a little bit now. I've been practicing for a little bit, so I was happy with my progress.
Right.
21, 21, 21.
So from the hour walking, hour of sitting, you establish this concentration. Did you see your mind, your body
clearer? Like you be able to detect it, and you see the calmness that help you to feel better about what outside and what inside. That's
the one that
called a short-term benefit that you get out of it. Last week, I mentioned one of the 4 men who came here to practice, and he has to leave early, but because of some pre-engagement, so he had to leave, a bit early. But then he came back right away next morning. So the next morning he came back and he saw me, and he started to was so happy, and he was telling me like, oh, Venerable Sir, when my way back to the temple, the same route, the same path that I've been driving, but this morning it's the whole scenery seems so beautiful, so serene, so daring, and he was so excited, was so happy. So, and then I told him that if you are to go, yesterday you drove by the same path, same way, and this morning, so it's within a day or two, there's not much change. But how come your emotion is different? From yesterday like this, and then today is like you feel so beautiful, so quiet, so peaceful, so daring. Do you know why? He kind of a little bit paused a little bit. I told him, the reason you saw is so beautiful, so quiet, so daring is because your mind is very calm and peaceful, there's not much or no anger there. There's not much of agitation in your mind. So that's why you see everything is so beautiful, so daring. Because the scene, I mean, just a day or two, not much change, right? If it's like season change, yeah, but it's just a day or two. It's not much different. Your mind has been different because for the past couple of days, he was sitting, walking, meditation, one after the other, 1 hour after the other, alternate. It can be very intensive when you do it during the time, but the post result, the result after that, is the one that you should pay attention. You see the difference. Yeah, during the meditation, during the process of training, yeah, it can be very tired, boring, and you're missing they miss their wife, they miss their home. They say, oh, I should be home, sleep in my own bed, rather than sharing a room with other guys, with all the noise and, snoring and all that. But then again, the result you get out of it is, is so, that's why people keep coming back to the retreat, because they want to learn, they want to train, they see the benefit. They're less angry. Yeah, go ahead. Oh, when we know when you have wisdom? Okay. When you ask this question, you don't have wisdom yet. Wisdom is not something that you accidentally pick up, right? So basically, you learn. You learn by, just like you read the book, right? You read the book, and there's a story behind it, but you're not yet finished the book because you are still collecting the data, the point in it. But at the end of the book, boom, you start understand the whole thing about what the writer convey, the story. But in between, you don't know what's going to happen because you don't have enough information. It's the same way when you meditate, you pay attention to whatever happened. And then all the data will you collect all this data. One day when everything comes together, when all the pieces of the puzzle come into the picture, you start to recognize what the picture is all about. But until then, it just looks scattered. What is it? Do you play one of those pieces of puzzle that you put it together? Before you put it together, all together, you don't know what is it. It looks so funny. It looks so weird, right? But once you put the last puzzle in, boom, the whole picture. But you should know, as you put the puzzle in, you should know what it's going to look like. It might not be a complete picture, but you know what it's going to be already. So the same way, when you meditate, piece by piece, your mind is clear, your mind is calm, and then how peaceful it is, but it's not completely. Eventually, to the last drop, you completely feel purified. So whenever you ask this question, imagine back to the puzzle, right? Otherwise, you might feel bored. A lot of people practice Vipassana. They feel bored. They gave up so early because they want quick answer. How can? Because you need a lot of cleaning up to do. You left your house, abandoned or unclean for a long time. You can't just do one scrub and the whole house is going to be so spick and span. It takes a lot of scrubbing, a lot of arrangement, a lot of that before you have the beautiful, clean house, right? So you need to take time. I always use two words, consistent and persistent. Consistent and persistent, and then you'll get there. You don't get hasty and find out that, oh, this is boring. The same way, whenever you can't understand what I'm saying, think about your dirty house, okay? If you think that, oh my God, it's so dirty, it's pointless for me to clean. How am I able to clean this house? It's too much. And then you gave up, and the house should be a dirty house. However, you want to clean, pick up the broom or the scrub or whatever, start scrubbing. And while you do it, just enjoy the scrubbing, one scrub at a time. And before you know it, you're done with the cleaning job. Yeah. So go back to your question. You will know. Your wisdom will grow. This is the beauty of it. It's not one of those things you accidentally bump into it and everything drop and then you pure. That would be so easy. I wish I have that technique so that way I don't have to endure a lot of hardship, facing a lot of difficulty being a monk. Yeah. So Okay, you get the point? Okay. Go back to a lot of people thinking that being a monk, you'll be saved, you'll be protected. So everybody when they finish, the purpose in life and not much left, they want to become a monk and nun so that they can die in the robe, so that they can be protected, be born in the happy realms. No. Monk and layman are not different at all. The difference is in the practice. And why people choose to be a monk and a nun? Because the monk and the nun is like a full-time practitioner, because you devote all your time and effort into the practice. Whereas the lay people, because they have family works to do and a lot of obligation and responsibility they need to fulfill. Because of that, it delay or hinder their practice. But for a monk, you give up all of that. You drop down the burden. You drop down all the responsibility and keep your life very, very simple. And then devote all your time and to the practice. And that will get the result quicker. I always talk about part-time student and full-time student, right? Part-time student, they have to go to work. They have to take care of the family. Full-time student, they don't work. They don't take care of the family. They just devote 100% into the study. And they graduate quicker. Whereas the other one, you take a bit longer. But the result will be the same in the practice, whether you lay or monastic. So don't ever think that you put on the robe, you shave your head, and then you'll be protected. You will go there faster without the practice. This morning, he mentioned about the picture that we saw. There was a monk. he wears the robe, but then he used the fingers, and I say, well, you see, not all monks are virtuous. It's just the cloth, the act that make the monk, not the thing. Because anyone could actually put on the cloth and look like a monk, but they're not real monk. Acting like that, not a real monk, like that. So the robe or the cloth, it doesn't make the person you are. It's the act that make you make it different, like that. Yeah. Go ahead. Actually, the car it's the same, but it adds on to other things, like because monk live off of other people's generosity, right? But he doesn't practice, so that one add on to the thing. He owes to the people who have faith in him. Okay, you know what I mean, right? So the act is the act, but there's other thing involved that he need to pay back that not the same as you. You know what I mean? So for you, you make your own money, right? You spend your money however that you spend because your own effort and all that. But the same thing, the monk spend that same money that's supposed to support his monastic life in terms of like living style, like not living style, but like way of living, like food, clothing, and health and all that. Because that's the donor intention for him to do this kind of thing. But rather than that, he used it something else, maybe bad, doing some bad stuff. Then he paid back for the bad act that he committed. But then again, on the other hand, he break his promise to fulfill the duty that he's supposed to carry out when people offer him in that way. So that one make it more serious in that sense. Makes sense? But the act is the act. So it's not one thing will bear the result for that way, and then another one will bear. So, okay? Like some people think that they steal from the rich and they give it to the poor. So you add, subtract and adding is, it turned out, maybe that I come out better, I do more generosity because he take in like, he steal $1,000 from the rich, but then he distribute $1 to a lot of people. So he saved a lot of people, 1,000 people. He's still one person, but he saved 1,000 people. Oh, that turned out to be right. So that means that I don't have to pay for the stealing. I steal for the goodness. No, not in Buddhism. the law of cause and effect. You steal, you pay back for the stealing. You help other people, you relieve people from distress, you get the benefit from it. Depends on the act, the severity of the act. So don't ever say that, oh, I do it for a good cause. Yeah? Or I kill it for a good cause, you know? Like that. A lot of people say, oh, I kill one person and I save 10 people. Yeah, you have to still pay back for the killing. Even though that is the bad guy. You save 10 people, yeah, you get the result for saving 10 people. So depends on it, but you have to pay back. There's nothing like, oh, I came out better. Okay, makes sense? All right. Yeah, so go back to the question about the monk. Depends on the situation. Okay, yeah. All right, I think we're running out of time, so we should do chanting and share merit.